Hey guys, this is Jason. I'm out here playing in the sand. We just finished up catch night. I'm out here thinking about heading to the beach. Got my Hawaiian shirt on, my shades, and my chair. I'm ready to roll out. That sounds like fun, right? It's what all the growers out there do when they get rid of all their birds. They head on vacation, right? Yeah, I know, that's a big joke. Some of you just got really offended. Some of you just laughed out loud. The reality of it is, I'm not out here getting ready to go on vacation, and that's not sand. That's feed that the feed truck driver spilled all over the pad out here, and that's not what's about to happen. I realize that most of the real work happens right after catch night. I do know that oftentimes it is a little bit of a vacation mentally because we don't have those alarms to worry about and a little bit less stress during out time because of some of the thoughts that we don't have to deal with having birds, but the work sometimes can be stressful. I'm here to talk to you about what just happened here. We just wrapped up our catch night here, and I want to give you guys a few tips. It got me to thinking. Sometimes we catch during the day, but the majority of our catch nights happen from about 5 p.m. all the way up to 5 a.m. So I understand that that's fairly normal across the country. Some of you catch strictly during the day. I get that. But for those of you who your catch nights happen during the dark hours, I've got some tips for you. And some of the stuff that I'm going to say applies to those of you who catch during the daytime. Now, these aren't great, wonderful safety tips that you've never heard of, but they are some things to keep in mind. All right. So I want to share these with you, and they may help you to have a better flock, hopefully stay safe, and maybe even give you and your family a little peace of mind. There's lots of things that go on when you are in there alone sometimes working. My number one tip for all of you is to write down a plan. Most of you already write out a schedule of what to happen and when it needs to happen, but I don't know how many of you share that plan with your husband or your wife or your significant other, especially if you're working by yourself. Now, if you've got some other workers on the farm, that's a different scenario. Maybe they need to check in with each other if they haven't seen each other in a little bit. But the last thing I want to do is fall off a ladder in the middle of the night inside a chicken house and no one find me until the catch crew comes in. That's probably a bad situation. So if we're working up here in the farm environment, my number one safety tip is to make a plan and check in with people and follow your plan. If for some reason you deviate from that plan, let somebody know. All right, tip number two. If you're like us, we have to deliver our mortality sheets to the first truck that comes in on catch night, and they deliver them to the plant. And not everybody follows that procedure, but we move around out in the parking area at night with big trucks moving around and moffats and heisters moving those cages of birds. Lots of times they're all moving way faster than I'd like them to. Now, if someone's walking around that parking lot at night, well, that's a dangerous situation. You've got heavy equipment moving sometimes at a high rate of speed, and they get in a routine. A couple of tips that can help you stay safe in that environment. You take off your shades and put on a headlamp. You see, I've got one of these super bright headlamps that I wear anytime I walk through that parking lot. I put on a headlamp or have a handheld flashlight, and I make sure that it's turned on. And sometimes I have it so bright and so obnoxious that everybody in the parking lot knows that I'm there. I also always leave the lights on my vehicle on if I'm going to be driving it around. I try not to shine those bright lights in people's eyes, but I also make sure that I have them so that I can be seen, not just so much so that I can see. Now, that's an important tip. I often see the catch crew guys wearing reflective clothing. You know why? So they don't get hit. It's a good idea for us to maybe do that same thing. You can purchase some of these reflective headbands or a reflective vest or just even some reflective stripes at a local supply house, kind of like Granger, or some of your supply areas that sell workwear or industrial equipment. Lots of times they'll have reflective stripes, wristbands, headbands, and that sort of thing. My last tip for you, my tip number 3, is if you have a problem staying up at night, lots of times they spread your catch night out over 2 or 3 nights, and there's not a whole lot of opportunity to catch a nap. Well, I've heard people talk about it. I've read it on Facebook, like some of you guys, talking about staying up all night for 2 or 3 nights in a row and surviving on coffee. Let me just say this, that's probably not the best plan. And what's even worse is I've heard people talk about taking those caffeine pills to stay awake, no-dos, and some of those sort of things that help you stay wired. Let me just say, that's probably way worse than being really tired, because the crash that comes when you come down off of a caffeine high is way worse than just being tired in general. Not a good idea. And I'm not telling you don't drink your coffee. Some of you are about ready to turn the video off right now. I'm just saying don't rely on that. One of the best ways to stay active and to stay awake is some natural sugars. Take in some fresh fruits. Take in some natural sugars that'll help your body. Just good nutrition in general. A good meal that has some good natural sugars can help you stay awake. Think about these things. These are 3 tips that may be something that can help you stay safe on the farm, can help your catch night go a little bit easier, and maybe, hopefully, it'll help you have a better flock. These aren't earth-shattering new ideas, but they are some things that we utilize on our farm that help us stay safe. Hopefully it'll help you stay safe and help you to have the best flock you've ever had. This is Jason Jackson, and this is the Poultry Biosecurity YouTube channel from Southline Organics. Thanks. Have a great day.